Today's episode of the Nintendo PlayStation Podcast is brought to you by the Talk Nintendo Podcast. Be sure to check out everything Perry and Casey are up to, as well as their amazing breakdown of the weekly games hitting the eShop. Hey, question for you. Do you remember the time? You remember the time that I mooned you?
Oh, I do. I forgot about that, Bobby.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to Season 3, Episode 9 of the Nintendo PlayStation Podcast. I am Bobby, the Nintendo Guru, joined by my best friend in all the land, Toby Thornton. What's up, Toby?
All right, Bobby. You know, it's episode 9 of this season. I feel like I've been on like 3 episodes.
Yeah, you've been slacking, man. I've had 3 people. You've been on 6, because I've had 3 guests this year.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I don't know, man.
No, you know what? Wait. Was Alan last season or this season? I forget.
This season?
All I know is you're about to get replaced.
Yeah, I feel like it.
I can't deal with you no more, man. Benji Kong, warm it up. I'm coming to you, Benj.
I'd listen to that if you and Benji did a permanent podcast.
I'm not. I don't like
Come
Benji.
on.
I don't like Benji that much.
You do.
No, I do love Benji. Benji's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
He's pretty awesome.
It's just whether he likes you. I'm not really sure about
He calls me Uncle Bobby.
that.
Uncle Bulby. Uncle Bulby.
like Uncle Buck.
Yeah, exactly. I make these gigantic pancakes, and I gotta use a shovel to flip and stuff. It's pretty awesome. Kids right now are going like, "What the hell are they talking about? What the hell's an Uncle Buck?" Toad, hey, you been sick? You been the flu? All that stuff?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, I forgot to mention it in the podcast last week because I was staring into Joe After Work's eyes, and it just got me all messed up. Pretty dude.
I expected you to do something cool with his background.
You know what? I thought about it, but here's what happens. The only way I could do that, it was going to take me a lot of work to do it. I would have had to somehow do an image and then shrink it to fit behind him only. Yeah. Because otherwise, you would see it going behind the logo and all that stuff. It would have been cool.
Yeah.
You know, I gotta figure that. That would be pretty cool. You don't listen to the Planet Nintendo podcast, do you?
No.
You should check that out sometime. I think you would like that. Pat and Joe are really, really good, man.
What's it about?
Nintendo.
Okay.
But we take random topics. Like the 3 of us will bring a topic each week. And it's pretty random. It's not always. They got this thing that they try to do. They try to get me pissed off and ranting.
That's good. I like that.
And every week, it seems like they call it the Bobby blood pressure topic of the week. And they get me all fired up where I'm yelling and ranting.
It's funny.
It's pretty funny. That's on Pat's channel, Nintendo Talk.
That'd be hilarious if you had like one of those blood pressure machines at home. And then, like, at the end of it, you could, like, write it down to let everyone know what your blood pressure is at that point.
What's the Etika? Etika actually has it synced up when he does Nintendo Directs, where he puts a thing on his finger, and you can watch his pulse.
His heart rate.
His heart rate and stuff. That'd be kind of cool. They could sit there and have it, and then the day I had the heart attack, they could all go, well, that's why.
Yeah.
Look at
too hyped.
He was too hyped. Toby, let's kick this episode off like we do each and every episode with our Geek Outs.
About Geek Outs.
Oh my God, you are so horrible. It's gotten so bad since you got a kid. You used to yell, get all excited. Now it's just
Karina's napping right now, so I don't want to be too loud.
That's true too. Yeah, she was. So she has the baby and she's napping.
Evie's napping as well. So
look at you. Look at you. You're living the dream right now.
Yeah, just hope my dogs have a nap.
Those two. Yeah. What are you geeking out about, Toby?
I'm geeking out about this. I got a mug. I got a new mug.
Really?
It's a Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past mug. I'm dripping onto my microphone. Whoops. Anyway, look how gorgeous this thing is.
Really, dude? That's your geek out? That's a stupid mug?
Yeah.
Oh my God, Toby. You know I call some amazing stuff, and that's it?
Well,
There's got to be something else you're geeking out about besides that stupid mug.
Nothing.
See what happens when you get sick and you have the flu? Like
Well, last time, I don't know. What was it? What was my geek out last time? The Nintendo Direct.
I don't know. It's been like 6 weeks ago, man.
Mm.
So did you? Speaking of Direct, real quick, did you watch the Pokemon Direct?
I watched it after the fact. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, it wasn't nothing to really.
Yeah.
What did you think?
It's just more Pokemon.
I mean, do you play Pokemon, or is that not your thing? Is that not your bag, baby?
It's not really. It's not my sack, like.
You're not a fan of Pokemon? It's in a role playing game.
I know. Like, I don't know. I wanted it to get me excited again for it, but it just hasn't. It just looks like more of the same. Like they say, "Oh, we're trying new things." Don't look like they are.
Careful. There we go. You
set him off now, aren't I?
They hear Pokemon, they get all excited. I think they're going to go catch some. Myself, I don't have it in front of me at the moment.
Right.
Listen, mute your mic if you're going to talk to the dogs. Especially that little demon seed right there. Every time with this dog.
Look how terrified you've made him.
Yeah, well, that's good. I'm going to make him terrified. We're gonna sell you to a Chinese restaurant, Riley.
I could actually see that happening.
Oh my God. Anyway, I am geeking out about. So I have these these NES Joy-Cons, right?
Yeah,
I have these.
Yeah.
For those who aren't watching the video, it's the NES controllers that are basically attached to the side of the Switch, and you can use them for the NES games. Dude, I just imported the Famicom ones, so I have them on their way here to the United States from Japan. And so I don't know, were you here the week that I got the 2DS XL?
Yeah.
I told you I was getting it, right?
Yeah, I watched your unboxing video.
Okay, so I got it, right? And the guy who sold it to me, in the letter he attached, because he attaches really sweet letter.
Yeah.
And in the letter, he said, if there's anything else from Japan that you're looking for, please be sure to hit me up, and I'll hook you up. So I reached out to him. I said, I don't know if you have these. I don't know if there's a chance you can get these for me. They're pretty expensive. They're about $140 everywhere I look.
Is it the same in Japan in that it's one per customer?
Yes.
So that's why they're hard to get.
They're hard to get, because you have to be a Nintendo Online customer and all that stuff. So I reach out to him. I ask him. He gets back to me. He shows me a picture of them. He goes, these are the ones you're talking about? I said, yeah. He goes, I can sell them to you for $118 shipped. I'm like, sold, done, set it up. Like I said, everywhere I look, it's $140.
Yeah.
Some you get for $125, whatever, but this is the cheapest price that anybody's offered. Normally it's like $120 plus shipping, something like that. So I wasn't expecting a good price. I just trusted the guy. And the shipping on the last thing was so fast that I was like, hey, we'll just give this a shot and see what happens. And sure enough, came through, dude. Guy is awesome. Really awesome.
Good businessman.
Very, very. The box is packed to perfection when it came. He put a little origami bird in it in the package.
Really?
Yeah, man. Just little touches that they do.
Yeah, personal touch.
Yeah, personal touch, man. I liked it a lot, man. So I might actually put the link to his store in the show notes. So if anybody's looking for some Japanese stuff, you can reach out to him and check him out and stuff. He's a good guy. He's Hero. Okay, so
I could be your hero, baby.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. Oh wow. Toby, you got a topic for us, right?
Yeah.
Let's hear that bad boy.
My PlayStation topic today is: do we think PlayStation Plus needs a revamp?
Okay, so before we get into that, What's essentially, let's break down what PlayStation Plus gives you.
Yeah, so PlayStation Plus is, I think it's £40 or £50 a year.
It's 70 in the United States, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. And for that you get to play online.
Mm-hmm.
So online is not free like it used to be on PlayStation 3. And also every month they give you, I think at the moment it's 2 PlayStation 4 games that you can download.
They did get rid of the PlayStation 3 and the Vita just recently.
Yeah. So I think they've added like a PlayStation VR game as well, but obviously that's a bit more niche.
Yeah.
And over the course of a year, like the value of those games adds up to quite a bit. But the problem is with me is 90% of the time I've either already purchased the game that they're giving us for free because it's an old game or it was an old popular game that's already sold a lot, or I'm just completely uninterested.
Makes sense.
And like for a while now, I've just felt like the value just isn't there for me because, any hardcore PlayStation fan will tell you that most of those games they've already purchased, and it feels a bit like you're getting the short end of the stick with those free to play games. Basically, you only get to play them whilst you're still a member. So whenever you're no longer a member, all those games you no longer have any access to.
Yeah.
So that's it, really.
So my question is this: Is it strictly because honestly, the one thing now I canceled my PlayStation Plus a while ago, and part of it had to do with I just wasn't taking advantage of it. I really wasn't playing games online that much anymore. The free games didn't entice me at all.
Yeah.
The one thing, however, and even when I was a member and really taking advantage of the stuff, like the free games really didn't do anything for me anyway. It was just never a thing that got me excited. The one thing that I will say that I really liked about PlayStation Plus was the discounts you got on games.
Oh, yeah.
It was a deeper discount than what was ever offered. So, like, hypothetically, first off, every game you got a discounted price for it. I think it's like 10% off or something like that. And then, in addition to when a game's on sale, you still get that extra 10% off. So to me, that's the big plus to PlayStation Plus for me. That's where the value is in this thing.
But then again, it's only worth that if you're spending, say it's $50, right, or whatever, like. You're going to have to spend $500 worth of games to get your value back.
Yeah, no. Listen to me. I get it. I understand. But I'm just saying, this is just my own personal preference.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is the ability to get that extra cut was always nice to me. You know, because I felt like this. When I look at Nintendo, right? When I look at Nintendo's online, they don't give us an extra discount on everything. Like everything you buy is full price, and especially when you're buying Nintendo games, that every game is $60 and they never drop in value, they never drop in price.
Yeah.
It would be nice to be able to get a game for 10% off from here and there, especially when you're buying digital games. The fact that you're not.
It's funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because Horizon Zero Dawn, that was reduced to like £20, like in a year.
Yeah.
And at the moment, you can often get it for £15 on the PlayStation Store.
Yeah.
And it just feels, like you say, it feels like Nintendo doesn't get that. So, but anyway, I just feel like they need to just do something to just sweeten the deal, or perhaps just give people more options. Like, if you could have PS Plus, but have it cheaper and not get the monthly games. So if you can only pay for online and get the discount, but not have access to those monthly games, I'm sure they could do it a lot cheaper. Because at the moment, like, I'm just not playing or downloading any of those monthly games. And
you don't vote on the PlayStation Plus games anymore, right?
No.
See, that was to me kind of cool where like what they would do is they would nominate 3 games that were going to be placed. Like they would tell you one of these games. Here's one game that's a definite PlayStation Plus game.
Yeah.
And here's 3 games. Go vote on it, and the game that wins, you get for free. And then the other 2 games are going to be heavily discounted during that time.
Yeah.
At least that way you feel like you have a choice.
You know what I'd love, right? Is if they looked at what Microsoft are doing with their what's it called?
Game Pass?
Game Pass, yeah. So if they could do a service like that included online, and you got all of the Sony published games like your God of War and your Spider-Man and stuff like that, I'd gladly keep paying. I'd pay more for that, really. But if they lumped the online in with it rather than have it its own separate thing.
Game Pass is a separate thing.
It is a separate thing. I'm just saying that I feel like PS Plus just is not worth it anymore for me. And I'd still want the option to play online, but I don't want to be paying for these monthly games.
Yeah.
If you get what I mean. So, but if they had a service where I was guaranteed to get every first party game instead, then I gladly would pay, and I'd probably pay extra.
Yeah.
You know? So I feel like they need to just do something to freshen it up.
Yeah, I mean, I see that, and the thing of it is, as you think about it, you're like, well, you've stopped giving us two other consoles, so essentially 4 games you stopped giving for free. So if they could basically give 3 games, or give 2 games, but give a really good game in that mix, it might be better off. Where like I get what you're saying, like Game Pass, you know, you sign up for Game Pass, you pay $10 a month or whatever it works out to be, and then dude, they're putting brand new games on Game Pass. You know,
Game Pass
not God of War, but like what is it?
Gears of War and Forza and Halo.
Yeah, and they're all getting, you know, they're getting these games brand new out the box. Like, here you go, it's part of it. So I get that. Like Sea of Thieves is one there. Sea of Thieves brand new game, boom, hit Game Pass.
Or if they had a thing like PlayStation Now, because they do offer a subscription service for their more retro games. But if, say, they just had a library of PlayStation 1 games that you had access to for being a PS Plus member, I think that would be something cool, just something different.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, like, what could PlayStation have done to keep me from leaving? You know, because that's ultimately what it boils down to. I mean, if they would have given games that were... Because I had zero interest in the games they were giving us. So that wasn't like a... You know what I mean? Like, if... I look at Nintendo, right? So Nintendo has the free NES games. Like, if... That wouldn't keep me on
no.
You know what I mean? Like that... Now, if it was Super Nintendo games...
Yeah,
I might think twice about it. You know what I mean? But if it's something I really want, I might think twice about it. So when you think about it, it's like, well, man, if they were giving you like Last of Us or, you know, but not now, like back then when the game, you know what I mean? Like when it first came so because
if they had,
you already bought it on the, here's an example. You already bought it on the PS3. So you know what? We're going to give it away free here. You can either buy the game if you want to buy it, or you know what? You can have it for free here. Man, it probably would have kept me in.
Yeah.
Because that's the only game that, like, I traded a bunch of games. I'm like, I got to keep Last of Us. Have to keep Last of Us. You know what I mean? So it's like, if that was a situation where it was like, hey, man, I got Last of Us, I got Uncharted, I got, you know, Arkham.
The thing is, they do occasionally give away a first-party game, but it's usually
so far
years after when they're just not selling it anymore, really. And at that point, like I said, any hardcore PlayStation fan probably already has that game, and it's not a bonus for them.
So here's a question. I mean, what if they leaned in a little bit like Nintendo does, and they did classic games? Would that entice you at all?
Yeah, like I said, like if they offered a PlayStation 1 library, like you know, if they offered maybe like 20 to 30 games that just stuck around, that they were all decent PlayStation 1 games.
Yeah.
then I think that'd be pretty cool.
At least it would make you think twice. Because you would go like, hey man, here's a guaranteed 30 games that are just sitting here that I really don't want to go buy, but like these are here all the time. And then maybe like in a couple of years or whatever, they throw in like 10 or 15 PS2 games. And then you get some PS3 games when PS5 hits. Be nice. Well, they are talking about like everything being backwards compatible with the PS5.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean,
I wonder if they will try and refresh it a bit when the PS5 comes out.
I think they have to. They got it. I think right now Sony. This is my opinion. Sony is very stale at this moment. Mm-hmm. They need a restart. You know, they need a kick in the pants.
Yeah, it just feels like there's not much exciting going on with PlayStation other than the first party games that they're putting out, and some of the other big games like Death Stranding and stuff like.
Yeah, but that stuff's so far away. It's not even funny.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
I when I look at like Spider-Man, and I see the gameplay footage on it, man, I get so close to just trying it and playing it, and I'm close to it. You know what I mean? Like it's to the point where I'm getting ready to pull the trigger on it and go get it. Like I think that ultimately what I want to do is I want to upgrade. So I'm torn right now. I'm really seriously. This is where I am. I'm so close to upgrading my Xbox One S to an X and my PS4 to a Pro. What holds me back on the PS4 is I got that Arkham Edition, man, and that really kills me to get rid of that because I love Batman. So now I'm back and forth. So then I'm like, well, maybe I just wait till they go on sale, you know, and pick up. Maybe this year for Christmas, I buy a PS4 Pro and an Xbox One X because they'll probably be cheap on sale. But I think in the meantime, I don't mind playing games like well after. Like my feeling is this is the way I've always felt with PlayStation versus Nintendo. Nintendo, you just said at the beginning, Nintendo never drops the price of their games. So I might as well jump in now and be part of the conversation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but with PlayStation, I could wait 6 months.
Yeah.
And the game's probably $20. You know what I mean? So it's like, just makes sense to wait. Like, I'm not in a rush to get these games. So, and the thing too is like, with everything I'm doing, I don't have a lot of time to play games as it is. So, but I think that's my goal this year. That's probably my goal for this year. My goal this year is to beat Spider-Man, to beat God of War, and to beat Horizon. 3 big games, but I would like to stretch out a little bit and play those.
I think it was announced recently Horizon sold like 10 or 11 million.
Yeah.
That was surprising to me.
It's a lot, man. It's a lot of games. Toby, you want to turn your light on over there? Like, you're getting dark.
It is on. The light is on.
Really?
The other light's not on. I can turn the other light.
You need to turn the other light on. It's like, dude, you're like blacking out over there. It's like, what the heck is going on over there?
All right.
And you're like shaking stuff and destroying stuff and like, holy cow. That's so much better. So much. Now it feels like you're part of the show. I understand. You gotta understand. It's late.
I was sitting in the corner.
Yeah, you're just like,
in the dark.
Holy cow! Now it feels like you're part of like it's all bright and shine. I understand you're afraid. You have a brown background now. You're not going to blend in with your pasty skin. You're fine. You're going to stand out still.
Oh dear.
Let's see. So my topic.
Stupid dog.
My topic.
Get caught up in my wire here.
Well,
sorry.
That's your fault. Keep the dogs out of the show. It is officially 2 years since the Nintendo Switch launched. 2 years since the glorious day that you and I both freaked out. Well, January was the day that you and I freaked out, and Sean yelled at us in a podcast because he didn't like that we were excited about the Switch. And I could hear him now. He's typing to me feverishly like that. That's not why I was mad, Bobby. That's not why I was mad. You weren't listening to me during the show. That's why I was mad.
Yeah, and he was mad because it was going to cost like 500 Canadian dollars.
Something like that, yeah. And they weren't showing enough games. That's what he was mad about. You have to make that point. There wasn't enough there at launch for him to be excited.
He was mad about the ice cubes. That's probably it.
Probably, yeah. The shaking of
the Joy-Con ice cubes.
Oh, he's so mad at us right now. Did you ever imagine that Nintendo would bounce back the way they have from the Wii U? As well, what are some of your favorite memories of the Switch? So let's start with the first part. Wii U. You and I both had the Wii U. You've been on record as saying you hate the console. You think it's one of the worst consoles they ever.
Yep.
I disagree. I love the Wii U. Compared to the Switch, it feels very Fisher Price now.
Yeah.
But at the time, it was fantastic for me. I felt like it had some of the best games.
I did enjoy my time with it. I don't know. It's got a bad stigma to it.
I got you. I understand. You're British. You people are hateful. I get it.
Yeah.
But no. So
I've got so many gripes with the Wii U. I don't want to talk about the Wii U.
No, but we're not talking about the Wii U. But that thing was like really bad shape. And Nintendo was in really bad shape when the Wii U was kind of ending. I mean, dude, you read the reports. People were like, "Oh, they just need to go third party." You know,
I was concerned, right? Because like supermarkets in the UK stopped selling Nintendo games. You couldn't buy any Wii U games. Couldn't find a Wii U anywhere other than in a game store. And even then, the Wii U section was just minuscule.
Yeah.
And it was like they were failing so hard that, it seemed really, really bleak.
Yeah.
And third parties had completely dropped it. All their support had disappeared. Even Amazon was like not selling Nintendo products at one point. So it was, I don't know, you should never count Nintendo out. So
that's true.
Their success with the original Wii was just phenomenal, and that came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So in my mind, in the back of my mind, I was like, "There's always a chance that could happen again. They could catch fire like they did with the Wii, and they did with the Switch." So I tell you what, I was quite surprised though how many third parties have come back and how many new third parties have offered support this time. Like Bethesda, they never supported the Wii U.
Yeah.
But I do still think that they've not fully recovered from it.
From the Wii U?
From the Wii U, yeah. I
Really?
still think that, I still think that a lot of their relationships with other companies, like EA, are a bit sketchy still. Like, we don't.
EA is just, I don't know what it's going to take for Nintendo to correct that relationship.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to sour that relationship the way it did. But EA is, you know what? I liken EA to how I felt about Ubisoft during the Wii U era. Meaning, they're bringing games that we know aren't going to sell. We know they're not going to sell.
Yeah.
And they're bringing these games to the Switch, and it's like they don't sell, and it's kind of like, well, see, things don't sell on the Switch.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, how can every other company that's putting games out on the Switch just sell like gangbusters? And they're wanting to bring more and more to the Switch. And when I say that, I mean like Square and Capcom and all these old-time third-party, like Bethesda, all these third parties are putting good ports on the system, and they're selling like crazy. And they want to put more over. Like, you look at Square. Square is bringing, what, 5 games to the Switch? 5 ports of games that we never thought would hit the Switch. With the Final Fantasy stuff, and then like they got Dragon Quest coming, Dragon Quest 11, and then they got Dragon Quest Builders 2. Like, they're really full in. Capcom's bringing a lot of stuff. They're starting to bring Resident Evil games over, even though they're overpriced or whatever. But so my thing is like I feel like EA doesn't bring the smart games, and what I mean by that is they've only brought FIFA.
Yeah, but they've only done one FIFA, right?
I think they did 2. I think they followed it up the next year with another FIFA.
Right. I don't know.
But okay, so here's my thing though. Like, why wouldn't you bring The Sims to the Switch? Like, to me, that's the perfect game for a Nintendo console. That's a game that like people would play. It's very like Animal Crossing-esque. Like, people are clamoring for an Animal Crossing game for 2 years now. Why wouldn't you have brought that game? In the United States, like in North America, why wouldn't you have brought Madden. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like people would have died to be able to play Madden on the go. You know, I just don't get where their head is with this stuff. I'm not saying every game. Don't bring every game because every game, not everybody wants every game. But like you look at some of the stuff they are bringing, it's just it's head shaking. Like the Faya, I don't think Faya did that well, but I don't think Faya did well anywhere, honestly.
No.
So that's that's kind of whatever, and now they're bringing Unravel too, which really looks bad. Doesn't look like it doesn't look like Unravel 2 on Xbox so I don't know. I do feel like that's a Nintendo game though, a platformer, co-op play and stuff like that. I feel like that's very Nintendo-esque. So maybe if that game really sells well, that might be the one that finally turns the tide for Nintendo. But I don't think that Nintendo really has to do anything there. I just think somehow EA has to wake up one day and just go like, "Hey man, things will sell over here."
Yeah. You know what? Like, I still think that, I think like Call of Duty could do well on Switch.
Oh, I do too.
You know, I feel like they might struggle a bit in terms of graphics, but I feel like a game like, I don't know, something like Anthem or something probably could still work. Division 2,
Division 2 isn't an EA game, but
no, but I'm just saying games like that. Yeah,
I think Anthem. The main thing is, can things run on the Switch?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I think a Call of Duty they could get to run on the Switch.
Of course they can. They had Call of Duty on Wii and Wii U. They even had it on Wii U. Was it Black Ops 2 or something? There's one of them on Wii U.
Yeah, I don't think Anthem would be able to run. I don't know the Division would be able to run, but I think Ubisoft could give it a shot and try. I feel I get where you're coming from. I feel like there's some stuff that's lacking with the Switch that need to get there. I'm curious if Apex Legends is going to end up on Switch because I really think that's the game that if that comes to Switch, man, that could be a big thing, honestly. I mean, it's already a big thing. I'm not going to undersell it, but I think that could be a big thing.
What game was it recently? There was a game, I don't know if it was like a port or something, but there was a game that came to Switch that's on other consoles, and it's weird because the Switch doesn't have the squishy triggers. Like the L and R button on the Switch are just on off. Then there's no like gauge in between. And there was a version of this game. I wish I could remember what game it was. But they had to do something weird with the sticks. Instead of having the stick as the button, Trials, that's it. Try the new Trials game, right?
Okay.
The Switch port, because they have the accelerator for the bike. It's on like R2 in the other versions, and you can adjust the speed with it. But on Switch, because they haven't got that trigger, they had to use the right stick as the accelerator, because that way it can measure just a little bit or a lot.
Okay,
yeah,
I got you.
So maybe things like that hold other people like bringing their games over still.
So, but I feel like, I mean, other than EA, I feel like everybody's pretty much on board with the Switch. I mean, at the end of the day, like I think they're past 2,000 games now. Like, there was nothing like that on the Wii U.
No,
we weren't even close to that on the Wii U. Now, compared to the Wii, it's probably on par with the Wii. Difference is there was a lot more shovelware on the Wii.
Yeah.
Than I'm not saying the Switch don't have shovelware, because you hit that eShop every week and
it does. Yeah,
there's some bad stuff there. But I think for the most part, the relationships have softened. Like you look at Ubisoft, who really didn't want to support the Wii U at all, and basically was pulling away from Nintendo big time.
Yeah.
You look at that game, like you look at what they're doing, and they are knocking it out the park with the games they're bringing to the Switch. So that makes me a little excited to see the future there.
Yeah, I think what helps is the partnership with Nintendo and Ubisoft.
Yeah.
The fact that they get the Mario license to work with. They get Star Fox to work with.
Yeah.
It's when these third parties they put in the extra effort. Like with Bethesda, they've got their own specific studio dealing with the ports
Yeah.
of Wolfenstein and Doom, and they're making it work.
Yeah.
And it still looks good, still plays good. Some companies are making unique games only for the Switch,
Mhm.
which is what I like as well. That's what they used to do back in the Wii days.
Yep.
You'd get Switch only games. And I think we need to see more of that.
Yeah.
Like just a bit more effort rather than just doing the bare bones minimum and then if it don't sell, they're like, well, we tried. Like,
Yeah.
no, I don't want that.
I'll be honest with you. I feel like the Switch is far and above exceeding what people expected from it. I feel like Nintendo is back. They're doing good things. I feel like I can't even remember almost that Nintendo during the Wii U era because, man, that was brutal times.
Yeah.
And that was, you had to be like the hardcore of the hardcore fans to stick around during that era. I remember sitting there just trying to sell people on that thing. And it was like, then you think about it, it's like, man, what was I doing? Like, that thing was trash. Why was I trying to sell people on this, you know?
You know what? The other day I was after the Nintendo Direct and we saw Mario Maker 2.
Mm-hmm.
I've been having a craving to play the original Mario Maker.
Yeah, dude. There's a lot of games I want to go back to that are just.
But I can't bring myself to set the Wii U up again because I know it's just going to take half a day to get the console like set up and then charge the Wii U gamepad and then you got to update the system and then you put the game in and it takes 5 minutes for the game and it's like by then I'm just tearing my hair out. I'm like, yes.
Because that is the problem. Like that was another thing. How long it took to get into the system.
Yeah.
Yeah. What can you do? So okay, before we move on, what's your fun?
32 gigabytes. Like, I know the Switch doesn't have a lot of built-in memory,
It's
but
the same. Switch is the same.
But they managed. I don't know how they do it. They compress the game so much more than they used to.
Yeah, man.
Even like I know Nintendo have always been good at that, but like I don't know. I think maybe it's just easier because you got the micro SDs on Switch. It's easier to upgrade your storage. Whereas on Wii U, it was like you need a hard drive.
I bought a 2 terabyte external hard drive.
But then you had to have a plug for it because the Wii U wasn't strong enough to power it.
I didn't care about that. I didn't care about that. You're nitpicking at this point.
Nitpicky, man.
You're nitpicking, man. You're nitpicking. Get on board, bro. Get on board.
Get on board with the Wii U.
Did you see real quick before we did you see, dude, the micro SDs, 400 gigabyte is down to like $60 now.
Yeah, dude.
That's crazy, dude. That's crazy. And then they just announced the 1 terabytes that are $450. And I'm like, yeah, we're gonna have to wait for you. I would love to get you, but we're gonna wait a bit because
the thing is, Bob, you'd never fill that up.
You know what? That's not true. These third parties are out of control, man. These third parties don't know how to compress a game to save their life.
Actually, that is true.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't think about third parties. Like, a lot of those.
First party and indies, I would never touch it.
Indies are great, yeah.
Because you look at the Wii U, right? And that's all that was first party and indies. And I got like 190 games on that thing. And I still got like a whole another half a terabyte to go, or like a whole terabyte to go. It's nuts, man. How much room is in that thing? Anyway, real quick, what's your fondest memory of the past 2 years of Switch?
So the memory that sticks out to me the most is when the Switch first launched, and I was playing Breath of the Wild. And how amazed I was that it was running on this handheld tablet machine like that. And I think just first impressions are the most important thing. You know, I remember the first impression I had of the Wii U, playing New Super Mario Bros. U, and just feeling like this is the same game I've been playing for years. It's so boring. Like, Nintendo Land, yeah, that was cool. I had fun with that.
Well,
right,
let's not talk about the Wii U because
I'm just saying
the hate is coming out of you big time.
The first impression of the Switch was 10 times what the Wii U had on me.
Absolutely.
Like, The
Absolutely.
Pro controller is just perfect from the get-go. Just, I don't know, just love that. And then bookending the year with Mario Odyssey, like,
Yeah.
incredible.
I think for me, I mean, obviously the fact of like playing Splatoon 2 and all that stuff with the community, that was so much fun. And I can't ever take that, I can't take them memories back. They're just amazing memories. But I think
Mm,
for me, my fondest memory was doing Nintendo PlayStation podcast and then finally the Gaming Gurus
mm,
and just having conversations with you or with Sean discussing where we were in Breath of the Wild and
yeah,
how all three of us started that game at the same exact time and we were in totally different sections of the map, totally doing different things. And it was like, how in the world are we playing the same exact game
yeah,
and we don't even have the same story with each other? And it was like just crazy to be like,
yeah,
how in the world we start off and it's like, boom, we're just totally all opposite ends of the maps. And it was so cool to like experience that and like each week come back and like you were such a pain in the butt with it though because you were like, I don't want to hear spoilers, I don't want to hear spoilers. And
yeah,
it was like,
yeah,
so like you're trying to beat around the bush, like, did you go
yeah,
here in this section? And you're like,
yeah.
no, 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 I don't want to do nothing, I don't want to. I'm like, but like it was such an amazing time.
Mm,
And then like even if you know I'd go on other podcasts and talk to other people, and it was like even those people like you play and it's like we're not even on the same page. We're not even close to the same page of where each other are and where we're playing at and stuff. So that's to me probably and the final moment is the first time booting up Breath of the Wild and I remember Tony wanting to play Fallout 4, and we had the two TVs side by side, and I made her not. I was like, "You're not turning on Breath. You're not turning on Fallout right now. You're gonna sit here on the side of the couch. We're gonna watch this opening together." And that coming out of the cave,
yeah,
and the way that thing
special.
pans and
Mm,
all that, and I remember her vividly. She was just like, "I feel like you're playing a watercolor painting." Like
yeah.
she's like, "That looks unbelievable."
Yeah, man. You know, it's so special because we'll never get that back, that
No,
feeling.
mm-mm.
Because Zelda has been so stuck in its ways for years, and then they completely changed the formula
Yeah,
with this one.
yeah,
And like, unless they drastically change it again, we're never gonna have that feeling of such freedom of like picking weapons up, climbing up walls,
yeah.
chopping down trees, running in any direction we want.
Yep.
That was like so unique to that game and to that period of time in our gaming lives. It's like, yeah, really, really special.
I agree. I agree completely. Um, at this time, we're gonna jump into a little bit of what we're playing, Toby. And so, you want to kick it off? What are you playing?
So I played and I finished a game.
Oh my god!
I know.
Oh my god!
For my birthday in January, I got Resident Evil 2 Remake.
Oh wow! For the PS4.
Yeah, and I
Okay.
played it and I beat it and I loved it,
Which
every bit of it.
did you beat both storylines?
I beat Leon, right? But the thing
Okay,
is,
so you
the
gotta go
thing
back
is,
as Claire. I don't want to hear it.
I've watched both playthroughs,
Oh my god!
A and B, and the thing is, they're not that different. Like, I have
Really?
less incentive to play through
You
again
you are.
because there are some minor differences, and there is one section that is quite different because it's like a little spin-off bit to the main thing.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, you're going through the same rooms and doing the same sort of puzzles. So like I don't know, I have less incentive to play Claire's campaign. I probably will get around to it.
No, you won't. No, you won't.
But anyway, I think it's such a great remake. Like they've stayed so faithful, but also updated. It's modern and retro at the same time. It's graphically it's amazing. The gore is out of this world. The way the zombies react to how you shoot them, shotgun blast point blank to the face. Their face just splits in two. It's grim and it is so good. And the most terrifying thing of all is the tyrant, Mr. X, chasing after you. He is unstoppable. You hear him stomping around the police station. You can, like, you're downstairs, you can hear him upstairs. You start grabbing your pants. He's coming down the stairs. Dad's coming to get you. You've been too noisy. You should be in bed. That's what it feels like. It's absolutely terrifying.
Okay.
I loved it though. I loved it, Bobby,
Oh my
so
god.
much.
I haven't played a game like that. Okay.
Mm.
I played a few games. Ollie Ollie. I bought that for Switch.
How did you find that?
How did I?
Yeah, like how you finding it? Like,
I like it. So I played
it's a
Ollie
pretty
Ollie.
unique game.
Yeah, I played Ollie Ollie on the 3DS. This
Mhm.
one comes with both games in it. So because I played the first one, I was like, well, okay, I'm gonna jump into the second one now.
I thought that was just the first one. I thought they just renamed it.
No, it's both games. It's both games in one. And the second game is so good, so
Mm.
much better than the first game.
Yeah.
I am so happy I bought this game. Like, it's just a nice, chill jump in, play a couple levels, jump back out. Like, it is so much fun, dude. I love it. I love that game.
I had it on PlayStation and I didn't really get on with it. Didn't enjoy
Really?
it.
Ollie Ollie 2 is better, much better.
Yeah.
There's more like just little missions to do and stuff. It's a lot more fun. I think you would probably enjoy that one better, but I don't know. If you didn't really like the first one, you might not like this one that much. How about, have you tried some Tetris 99?
No, because I still haven't got Nintendo Online,
Oh my
Bobby.
god, forget you, dude. That game's fun. That game's fun.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, I
tough.
know. I like watching people play it. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Reverie.
Okay.
Did you get it?
I did buy it.
How do you feel about it, Bobby?
Man, I'm torn. I want to love it. I can't get into it, man.
Yeah, I know exactly how you feel.
There's just something holding me back from it, man. I don't know what it is. It's just
It-
it looks gorgeous.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. I don't know, man.
There's something missing from
Yeah.
that game.
I can't figure it out, man.
Yeah, I can't put my finger on it. It just, I don't know, like, it feels like my first Zelda game, right? It's like they wanted to copy Zelda, but they also wanted to do their own thing, and they've kind of like got nowhere in between. You know, they're
Yeah.
like, they haven't got the best of anything. And
I feel that way with a few of these Zelda clones.
mm,
Like, the only one that I feel that got there and nailed it is Blossom Tales. I don't feel like It'll Do gets there completely. I feel like that's lacking something.
Yeah.
I hate, the one thing that drives me bonkers is I'm running around, I'm smashing pots, I'm breaking, and I'm getting nothing for it.
mm,
And it's like, man, throw some coins in there, throw something in there, and it's like you're just running around breaking stuff up and you're getting nothing at all. Where at least with Blossom Tales, that game really that game had the story. That game had the art style. That game had all the things that were in a Zelda game.
yeah.
Reverie just misses the mark on
Yeah, I think Reverie just feels lower budget
Yeah.
and it's a smaller team,
Yeah.
and I feel like they just didn't quite get what they were going for.
No. And
So it's
a shame
unfortunate because I was really looking forward to
I was
it.
too, because it had the Earthbound aesthetics.
Yeah,
And it had two of my favorite games, top-down Zelda and Earthbound. I was so ramped up for it. Just couldn't get into it, man. Just couldn't get into it.
yeah. I've played it quite a bit. I'm on like the 4th or 5th dungeon.
That's how
There's
I
only,
am
like,
too. I'm the same way,
Yeah.
but it's just not. It's like I'm
Yeah.
playing it because I feel obligated to play it.
Yeah,
I don't play it because I want to play it, and that's a sign of a bad game, where
definitely.
you have to keep forcing yourself to go play, and it's sad, man. Because
Yeah.
like you said, I was through the roof excited for this game. Like, couldn't wait to play it, and it just fell short, man. Sadly, it just fell short. Last game or the other game that I'm playing, obviously Fortnite. Fortnite Season 8 kicked off this week. So good, man. They added. That's the one thing I love about Fortnite is they do their 10-week seasons,
Mm.
and then they change up the map in little areas. They put this whole Caribbean pirate feel
Yeah,
up in the top right hand corner of the map. So you
Cool.
go there. There's a gigantic volcano, and just like these temples and stuff. It's like really, really cool, man. I like it a lot. They did a hell of a job with it, man.
Sweet.
So, and,
I'm playing Final Fantasy 9 still.
okay, so I bought this. I haven't jumped
Yeah.
in yet.
Okay.
I don't know why I haven't jumped in yet. Honestly, I heard there was issues with the bugs. Are you having an issue with the game?
No.
Okay.
I know that you mentioned. I don't know if it was if we ran Nintendo, you
Yes.
mentioned it, didn't you?
Yeah.
And at that point, I was like, I didn't even know there were any bugs. So I was looking into it, and the only bug that maybe I've come across is that audio one when you're on the world map
Mm-hmm.
and the theme song for the overworld plays, and then when you get into a battle, it goes into the battle theme, and then when you go back into the overworld, it starts from the start again when it's supposed to just continue on.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, you get in battle so frequently that you never hear past 20 seconds or whatever of that theme.
Okay, I gotcha.
So, but other than that, it's very solid. It looks gorgeous, and the writing is just incredible. I love the characters. They have so much personality. It is interesting playing it now actually because I'm noticing more now than I did before. There are aspects of the character dialogue that seems very dated now.
Gotcha.
The main character Zidane, he's very much into the ladies, and he falls in love with every woman he comes across, and he's not afraid to hit on them and touch them inappropriately every now and then.
Oh wow. Okay.
Stuff that you just wouldn't get away with in a modern game. Like there's a bit where this female character's climbing a ladder and he's going up the ladder behind her, and he goes to push her up and he touches her bum and he makes a comment saying, "Oh, soft," and then she's like, "Get off! Don't touch me!" And it's like it's innocent, but it just don't feel right. Like if you get what I mean. Like if you had that in a character today, then people would be in uproar about it.
People
Yeah.
losing their minds. I'm gonna jump in today. I'm gonna jump in, give it a shot, and try to get back into.
I will just say when you get into the battles, like when you get to the stage where you want to like do a lot of battles and you want to grind a few levels, make sure you do the fast forward. Basically, you press start and then you press R, and then that makes it go fast, and then you do that again to go back to normal. Because when you're on the overworld map and you get into a random encounter, the screen fades out, it goes black, and then eventually it will fade into the battle screen, and the camera will do like its pan, and then you get to behind your characters, and like that whole thing from it going black to you picking your first command is literally like 30-40 seconds. It's like I don't know how anyone ever had time to play this game back in the day. So
but they have a fast forward feature that eliminates
there's a
all
fast, yeah. So you can fast forward and it just zips right through it. Just
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So at this point, we're going to jump into our new segment from Out of the Warp Pipe. We're calling it. I got 3 questions.
That's new.
Yeah, man. I changed the name of it. That's all.
Okay.
It's the same.
I like
it's the same
it.
stuff we did, but I like the name of it. So,
yeah.
So we got 3 questions. We're just gonna rapid fire them. Take a couple minutes on each question. First question is: name one way you think Nintendo Online can improve. It's kind of I had these and you threw your question there. I was like, okay. So, what's one way that you would find an improvement on Nintendo Online? Okay, so you don't. So wait a minute, you don't have Nintendo Online. So what would be the thing that you would need to make you buy it?
Super Nintendo games.
Okay,
that's it. That's all I want.
Okay.
I want 30 plus Super Nintendo games. Maybe not even that many. If there's 10 really,
you just
if
want
there's like
one.
Yeah, I do. I want one, right?
Yes, exactly.
But like, if there's like just 10 really good ones that I can play online with my friends, even if it's just taking turns, doesn't have to be like proper multiplayer, then I'd be all in.
I'm exactly with you. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I love Nintendo Online. I occasionally I'll jump in and play the NES games, but I would love the Super Nintendo games. I would lose my
You know
mind
what?
for those.
Did you buy Stardew Valley?
I did.
So they've added the multiplayer update,
Hmm.
so you can create a farm together.
Yeah.
If you're into that, then I might get Nintendo Online so we can make a farm together. I would love that.
Okay. We could
Have a
talk.
think about
We
it.
could
Have a
talk
think
about it.
about
We could talk about it. We could talk about it. We'd have to dedicate time to play because
it.
that's the only thing we'd have to really commit to it.
Yeah.
Next question is: if you could take any Nintendo game, wipe your memories of it, and be able to experience it again for the first time, which one would you play?
Like we were saying earlier, Bobby, we'll never get it back. Breath of the Wild.
Mm.
I would love to wipe my memory of that.
Yeah, that's a great game, and I'm thinking for myself. Breath of the Wild would be a fantastic one. And I think it's an easy answer.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, there's really not another game that I experienced like that. That like just maybe Galaxy might be the only thing.
Oh yeah,
Galaxy
that's
might
a
be
great,
the
great
only
pick.
one that's not like Breath of the Wild. I feel like is the easy answer, but it's such a fantastic game. You know what I mean? Like I would love to experience that again. Although I have gone back and started over Breath of the Wild, and I'm finding stuff I didn't even know existed before.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy, because I purposely chose a different way to play the game. Um, so that would probably be the one. But man, Galaxy, that first time playing Galaxy, and just going in and experiencing it, and for me,
The first time you leapfrog around a tiny planet and you make it all the way around in one long jump,
yeah,
just that going over the edge of a planet and appearing on the bottom,
yeah.
like that one motion is so
And not only that,
satisfying.
like when you would jump up and you feel like you're gonna fall off the planet, and then
Yeah.
gravity would grab you and pull you back to it. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
oh wait a minute, this is awesome, And the
Yeah.
fact of like there was times where you felt like you were gonna float out into space, and you actually had to pull yourself up to a
Yeah.
planet, like to the stars and stuff. And man, it was for me what I look at that game, I go that game made me feel like I was playing an NES for the very first time, playing
Yeah.
Super Mario Brothers for the very first time. Like it took everything I knew about a Mario game and just spun it on its ear and just made
Yep.
me fall back in love with it. So that
Yeah.
to me that would be probably the answer. Third and final question we have this week is: when will the next Mario Kart game come out? So when do you think the next one we're going to get is?
Not for a while.
Well, okay, but what's a while?
Like 2 or 3 years at least.
I could get behind that.
Yeah.
Because you also have Mario Kart World Tour coming out on the phone.
Yep.
I feel like they would probably come out a couple years after that. So if that game
I
hits in
think- yeah.
2019, you're
I
probably looking 2020, 2021.
There'll definitely be another one on Switch.
Oh, absolutely.
People are concerned that Mario Kart Deluxe is going to be the only one,
I think people are
but
crazy to think that.
I'm pretty sure that they're going to make another one because like they didn't have to do a lot to port that game over to Switch. They just included all the DLC and
They
everything,
just
and
fix
it's
the
like
battle mode.
yeah, and it's like what were that team, the Mario Kart team, really doing? Like all that time, they couldn't have spent that entire time porting that game. Like they're definitely working on something, right?
I mean, here's the thing. For me, they could keep that game and just give me big expansion packs to it, and I would be just as happy. But if they're not going to do that, then yeah, I would want a proper Mario Kart 9. And I've said it before, like it would be a mind-numbing experience if they were to go, here's Mario Kart Ultimate, and give you every track, every character, every kart that was ever in a Mario game.
Dude,
it would be fantastic.
You know what? That's a great idea anyway, because there are so many classic tracks that just aren't in the Switch one.
But I would love them to but I want them redone. I don't want
they got to be redone to fit in.
Like they did in Mario Kart 8, where they took some of those tracks that were old school tracks and just
Actually, yeah, it's true. Like they do change them up a little bit, like the really old ones.
Yeah. I mean, dude, you look at that block one. right?
Yeah.
From the Super Nintendo. Like, oh my god, dude, that game, that level, that track is fantastic.
The Super Nintendo, the Boo track, I can't remember what it's called, but there's one where on the Super Nintendo you can sort of jump into this other section, and I'm not sure if they ever remade that one, but I think that if they could do that in 3D, it's like, yeah, it is haunted, but there's like a jump and you go into it, and then you go around this sort of column, and there's ghosts and stuff in there, and then you jump back onto the track after that. Yeah. But yeah, like, I don't know, there's just tracks like that I think they could really spruce up.
Oh yeah, man. Well, they did the Rainbow Road from the Super Nintendo as well, and that was another fantastic level, man. I love when they remaster stuff. They really do great work with it. So that is all. Thank you guys for listening to another episode of the Nintendo PlayStation Podcast. Be sure to check out Mr. Toby Thornton on the interwebs over on Twitter at Toby_take. You can check me out over on Twitter as well at Nintendo Gurus. That is all. Peace out, Preston.
Enjoy yourself and play some video games. Yeah, I can talk. I mean, I don't really know what you want me to talk about, but
We can talk about how effed up your face is.
shut up, scumbag.
Wow, man! I haven't seen you in a couple weeks, and so you had the flu.
Yeah,
You stuck to the toilet.
No, actually, it was more of just like feeling, really run down.
Yeah.
Terrible cough, very phlegmy, just all that gross stuff. What are you typing? You look like someone's secretary right now.
Whoa!
Just like head down, tapping away.
I'm typing, man. I'm trying to do something.
It's like you work in a court and you're like transcribing everything. You would fit right in that situation.
You're okay.
I had an actual nightmare about you.
About me?
Mm.
Did I die?
No.
Yeah.
That would have been a dream come true.
Whoa!
No. This
wow.
nightmare was like X-rated, right?
Oh, was I humping your face?
I was sitting down, right? We were going to do a podcast, right? And I had to leave the room for something, right? And I left my webcam on. And when I came back, right, you had a giant rubber, right? You went to China and you had surgery to give yourself a giant rubber, and it wasn't like a normal one, it was like an alien one, and it was all like green and it had like little spindly bits coming off it. And then out the tip,
dude, stop.
This, I know, it's so messed up.
So
I was actually terrified. And then you were on the sofa next to me, putting it all up in my face. And I'm like,
and you were loving every second of it.
I'm like trying to bat it away, and it's like I could feel the texture of it. It was so rubbery.
Just accept my alien peen. That's what I'm saying,
yeah.
Toby.
And it had like this little thing that came out the end that was like little balls, and it would rotate.
What? All right, enough. We don't need to get it all in detail like that. You're making it very difficult for me to tack this on to the end of the show.
Please don't. That's really embarrassing.
Hey,
but like,
question for you. Do you remember the time that I mooned you?
Oh, I do. I forgot about that. Bobby.
That was the best ever, man.
I erased that from my memory, and you just brought it all back.
I can show you again if you want.
No,
that
right,
was the best. What happened? How did that happen again? Were we playing games together?
We were playing Minecraft.
And I was like, Toby, look, and because you were looking at your and you looked over, you're like, oh. Okay. You ready?
I'm ready as I'll ever be.
Okay, let me start off with my thing here. What is up, everybody, and welcome to season. Man, Toby,
you had it.
I that skip. It messed me up. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
What is up, everybody, and welcome to season 3, episode 9 of the Nintendo PlayStation podcast. I am Bob.